In this video, I am going to go over the rounding rules we are going to use in this class, and that includes the different rounding rules when we are doing math, because addition and subtraction, you would round differently to the right number of significant digits than you would if you were doing multiplication and division. So this is page 4 in my Unit 1 packet. And the rounding rules, this is stuff that I'm sure you've seen before, so I'm just going to go right down to where there are some examples. Now, I'm just flat out giving you the numbers, and I'm telling you to round off to the right number of significant digits. So when you look at this first number here, 279.3, well, the third significant digit is the 9. The only number you have to look at is the next number in line. And if that next number in line is less than 5, then you do what's referred to as rounding down, which really just means it stays at 279. That's 3 significant digits. That's what we're looking for. Now this next number, 42.353, the third significant digit is the 3, that first 3 there. The next number in line is a 5. That 5 causes that 3 to round up to a 4, so what you get is 42.4. 18.77, the third significant digit is at 7. The next number in line is more than 5, right? So if the next number in line is 5 or more, you round it up, so that becomes 18.8. 32.395, so that 3 is the next. There's the third significant digit. Next number in line is a 9, so it becomes 32.4. You only have to look at the next number in line. It doesn't matter what comes after that. All right, if the next number in line is 5 or more, you round up. If it's less than 5, you round down. Now, some of these can get a little tricky. 5001, so this number 8 here. I should have moved this farther back in the packet because we didn't do scientific notation yet. It's really hard to round that off to 3 significant digits. Remember, when you round, your answer should be kind of close to what you started with. So sometimes I have people that are just going a little fast and they say, oh, I think that would be 500. And they say, well, that's 3 significant digits. You don't want to round 5,000 down to 500. The number has to be kind of close to what you're working with. So for this one, the way I would actually do this, and don't worry if you don't notice yet because this will be another day, I would write it in scientific notation, 5.00 times 10 to the third. So that one was a little tricky, don't worry about it. Number 9, if people are going too fast, I'll mess that up too. Remember, these zeros here are just placeholders, so they do not count as significant digits. The third significant digit is actually that 5. The next number in line is a 2. Now I said that they're not significant digits, but they are important. You have to put them in there. They are important placeholders. So you need to put those leading zeros back in, and what you get is 0.00875. All right, if you just wrote this as 0.875, you're changing that by a couple factors of 10, right? You're going from 0.00875 to 0.875, right? That's a big difference, right? So the number has to be kind of close to what you're doing, to what you're starting off with. And then you can finish these other examples and that homework. Now, page 5, I wanted to talk to you about that one too. Page 5, and this is a part where if you're not paying attention, and this goes throughout the rest of the entire school year, it's going to be easy to forget some of these things. Now, this is talking about significant digits while you're doing math. Addition and subtraction have a different rule than multiplication and division. In addition and subtraction, you go by the least number of decimal places. Notice I'm not saying significant digits. I'm saying decimal places there. So for example, this one, 14.565 plus 7.32. This has 3 decimal places and this has 2. All you're doing is counting how many numbers are after the decimal point. You always go by the least number of decimal places when adding or subtracting. So on the calculator you would get 21.885. What you would do is round it off to 21.89. 2 decimal places, because this example has 2 decimal places. Same thing with subtraction. You're going by decimal places, not significant digits. This has 2 decimal places. This has 1. So when you round off your answer, in that case you would round it off to 1 decimal place. It's very, very easy to forget this when you're doing a long problem involving a lot of math, and you just kind of forget because we're so used to talking about significant digits, and that's usually what gets used because most of our operations are multiplication or division, but we'll do plenty of stuff that's addition or subtraction too. They go by decimal places. Now multiplication and division, it's still the least number, but it has to be significant digits now. So when you look at this first example, 172.6, that has 4 significant digits. 24.1 has 3 significant digits. So when you round your answer off, you have to round it to 3 significant digits. And this is a good one to look at. You get 4,159.66. The third significant digit is at 5. Next number in line is a 9. So it's going to cause that 5 to round up to a 6. You have to remember to put that last 0 in there. Remember, you're starting off with 4,000 something. You don't want to just write 416. You wouldn't be too happy if your bank rounded off your bank account from 4,000 down to 400. Right? You have to put that placeholder back in there. And since we want 3 significant digits, you do not put in a decimal point because that would have made it 4 significant digits. With 4160, no decimal point, that's 3 significant digits. And here we have a division. Again, 4 significant digits. That one's 3, so we round our answer off to 3. When you're doing these problems, I know it takes a couple extra seconds overall, but just take the time to do it, to write out what you get on the calculator. 5.34 plus 9.3 plus 12. When you do that on the calculator, you get 26.64 centimeters. Now, since you are adding, you go by decimal places. That's 2. That's 1, and this has 0 decimal places. It's a whole number. So when you round off this answer, you should round it off to a whole number, which means this 6 is going to cause that 6 to round up. So what you get is 27 centimeters. All right, you have to pay attention to that. Addition and subtraction go by decimal places. Multiplication and division go by significant digits. So I'm just going to jump around a little bit here. For example, number 6. See on number 6, this has 5 significant digits, and this number here only has 2. So when we round off our answer, we're going to round it off to 2 significant digits. If you did this on the calculator, you get a pretty long answer. It's 13.59714, and it has a whole bunch of stuff after that. But we're only rounding off to 2 significant digits. The 3 is the second significant digit. The 5 causes that 3 to round up to a 14, so you get 14. Now I don't have any units in there, so usually I make sure there's units, but I didn't want them to get in the way of what you're doing here. All right, so remember, addition and subtraction go by the least number of decimal places. Multiplication and division go by the least number of significant digits. So at this point, you should be able to finish page 4. Any problems we didn't do. And then on page 5, finish the practice and finish the homework section.